My husband and I have been together for a long time, nearly 15 years. I remember when I first met him, we were both young and excited about everything life had to offer. Back then, I was working as a designer at a small firm, and he was just starting out in finance. We fell in love quickly. When we decided to get married, we talked about our dreams, our goals, and our hopes for a family. It felt like we were on the same page, ready to face any challenge. Shortly after we said I do, I left my job. We had agreed that I would focus on our home and our future kids, while he would keep working and growing in his career. At first, it felt right to me. Designing was my passion, but I believed that building a stable family life was more important. I told myself that one day, when the kids were older, I could always go back to designing. For a while, it seemed like everything was going well. We now have 3 children, a 10-year-old son, an 8-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old son. They keep me busy from morning until night, making sure they have breakfast, packing their lunches, helping with homework, driving them to soccer practice or dance class, breaking up fights, and comforting them when they're upset. Plus, there's the endless cycle of cleaning, laundry, cooking, and shopping. My husband Jake has a demanding job that pays our bills, so most days he leaves early and comes home late. Over time, I noticed he started making little comments, almost like jokes, about how I was lucky to stay at home. He'd say things like, "You get to rest while the kids are at school," or "Wouldn't it be nice to have an afternoon nap?" I tried to brush these off, but inside they hurt. I was working constantly, just not in an office. Each day I had to juggle countless tasks, and I never got that supposed rest he seemed to think I enjoyed. The morning everything came to a head was a Thursday. Jake had woken up late, which was unusual for him. He was rushing around trying to get dressed in a hurry. I was in the kitchen, packing the kids' lunches and making a list of things to do that day. Grocery run, dropping off the library books, finishing the laundry, helping our daughter with her school project. Suddenly, Jake stormed in, looking for his briefcase. "Where did you put my papers?" he asked, sounding annoyed. I told him I hadn't touched anything, since I never move his work files. Then he grumbled about how messy the house was, even though I had spent most of the previous evening tidying up. It was like he took out his frustration on me for him being late. "You know," he said, yanking his tie straight, "it wouldn't kill you to do more around here. Sometimes I feel like I have 4 kids, not 3. His words stung like a slap to the face. Normally I might argue or try to defend myself, but that day, something clicked inside me. I realized Jake really did not understand how much I did for our family. He believed I was just sitting around while he worked. It was time he learned the truth. After he left for work, I dropped the kids off at school. Then I went home and wrote a short note on a piece of paper. It said, "Jake, I've gone out for the day. I'm not picking up the kids, cooking dinner, or cleaning. Let's see how well you manage without me. Love, your resting wife." I placed the note on the kitchen table, right where he would see it when he returned. Then I gathered my purse, took a long breath, and was about to walk out the door when I suddenly felt something strange. It was a twist in my stomach, like a cramp, followed by a wave of dizziness. I leaned against the wall, wondering if I was just nervous. But the feeling got stronger, and within seconds, I realized I was in real pain. My hands started to tremble, and I felt a rush of heat flood my body. Concerned, I sat down, trying to wait it out. Maybe it was just stress, or maybe I hadn't eaten enough that morning, but the pain intensified. I decided it was best to call a friend or someone who could help. My phone was in my purse, so I grabbed it and dialed my neighbor, Sandra, who also stays home during the day. I told her I wasn't feeling well. She could hear the panic in my voice and said she would come right over. Within minutes, Sandra was at my side, helping me stand and asking if I wanted to see a doctor. I started to say yes, but then, to my surprise, my phone buzzed with a text from the school. Our youngest son had fallen on the playground and had a nasty cut on his knee. They needed a parent to come pick him up right away. My heart pounded. Even though I had planned to teach Jake a lesson by leaving everything to him, our child was hurt. How could I abandon him? Sandra offered to drive me to the school, but I felt the pain in my stomach receding a bit, and I was determined to go myself. I hopped in my car and drove, each twinge of discomfort reminding me I might not be okay. but nothing mattered more than my child right then. I reached the school, signed my son out, and headed straight to an urgent care clinic. By the time we got there, I had to hold on to the walls to steady myself. My son was crying about his cut, and I was trying not to cry myself. The doctor stitched up my son's knee and checked me as well. He couldn't find anything seriously wrong. Perhaps I was dehydrated and under too much stress. I finally got a chance to sit down, holding my son's hand while he sniffled. I glanced at my phone to see texts from Jake, frantic, asking where I was and why I wasn't at home. Another text said, "We need groceries and I can't cook tonight. Where are you?" The wave of exhaustion and frustration hit me all at once. My plan to teach Jake a lesson collided with real-life emergencies. It was a reminder that, as a mother, I often don't get the luxury of just taking a day off. Even when I try, life throws me curveballs, proving how much I am needed. When I finally got home, Jake was there, looking both angry and worried. He demanded to know where I'd been, so I told him everything. The note I left, my sudden pain, and how I had to pick up our son from school. As we talked, he began to understand how quickly things can spiral if I am not there to handle them. He seemed truly shocked by how much could happen in just a few hours. That night, he apologized for his earlier words. He admitted he never realized just how much I do every single day. We agreed we need to communicate better, share responsibilities, and treat each other with more respect. It won't be fixed in a day, but at least it's a start. I realize I love my family too much to leave them struggling, but I also deserve to be understood and appreciated. We both decided to work on balancing things more fairly. So now, here is my question for you. If you felt your partner didn't appreciate your hard work at home, would you walk away for a day to show them what they're missing? Or would you try a different way to make them understand?